Hey everyone, this is Ben back with you in the Midwest Model Shop. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at the finished 1/200 scale USS Missouri and the finished 1/200 scale USS Arizona and just compare the two for fun. If you take a look at the link down below, just push the little down arrow over here under the like and subscribe button. I'll have links in the description to both builds so you can see the whole thing if you're interested in that. Alright, with that being said, let's get into it. So since it's been a minute, here is the USS Arizona. I put this ship together a couple of years ago. I finished it. Did a whole series of videos on the whole thing so you could check it out. She turned out really fantastic. We used the scaledex.com wooden deck on her. They have one available and it's absolutely fantastic. You'll get some shots at later. They are working on one for the Missouri, so unfortunately we don't have one yet. But that's okay because I ended up staining it anyway. And then I used Edward photo etch detail on it for all the extra PE that we used. Here's another quick look at the Missouri that we just finished up. Now the Missouri is detailed with Pontos photo etch. I'd never used Pontos before. That was kind of the whole thing. Was I tried Edward on the Arizona. It's really cool because it's all a la carte. You just kind of buy the individual kits for the sections that you want, or all of them, which is what I did. The Missouri, on the other hand, with Pontos, it's one big investment. You get one big kit, and that's what you use to put together. And we used the wooden deck from Pontos as well because I ended up staining it. So anyway, here are the two ships side by side for the first time. You get a little bit of a look at them here. I tried to find some dramatic music, but yeah, it just didn't work out for me today. So these ships are pretty awesome. There's a lot of similarities in size, and then there are things that are not. So obviously, U.S. ships have to fit through the Panama Canal. The Missouri is designed to have a foot, 1 foot of space on either side of it to get through the canal. So as far as measurements go, the model that you see here ends up being 53 inches long by 6.5 inches wide at the beam. That's 134.6 centimeters by 16.5 centimeters. And then the Arizona ends up being 37 inches long by 6 inches wide. Real close, same size. So that's 94 centimeters long and 15.24 centimeters wide at the beam. Both these ships were a lot of fun. I hadn't looked at the Arizona up close in quite some time, and I was stunned at how simple it looks and how few parts there are compared to the Missouri. There's just significantly less work, besides the fact that one is significantly shorter than the other, which you could see here really well in the shot. Works out to about a 1.5 foot difference there. So I went out of my way to put figures on the Arizona, and I did this for scale. I thought it added a lot of life to the ship, and it was a fun process. It was a lot of work, and I planned to do the same thing with the Missouri over there. I actually bought 2 kits worth of figures from North Star Models. They took absolutely forever to get here, but I didn't put them on yet, and the reason for that is it's a ton of work to paint them all up and get them off the little sprues and then put them into position. So one of these days I might tackle that task. For the time being, I haven't knocked that out, but you can see them here on the Arizona, and it'll give you an idea of the scale here of the USS Missouri. I don't know, one of these days, like I said, I'll decide if I want to put some on here or not. Either going to put a ton of them on, or I'll just do like 1 or 2, I think. So just some more moving around here. Sorry it's a little jerky, so you can kind of see just what they look like standing next to each other. I did enjoy the a la carte version of the Edward photo etch detail. The one thing I screwed up on, you can see right there, look at the blast bags on the Missouri. They look fantastic. I stuck with the kit blast bags on the Arizona out of the box. They're smooth, they're boring, there's nothing complicated about them. There's nothing wrong with using them, but there is an aftermarket company out there that does produce resin blast bags for it. I highly recommend them if you're going to do the build. It just adds so much more character to the ship, and they're not by Edward. I'd have to, someone in the comments below will say where to get them, but they're totally worth your time and effort. Here, this was my first serious attempt at doing some complicated rigging on the Arizona. Again, I did the Arizona first, for those of you just seen this for the first time, and then followed up here with the Missouri. So we were looking at probably a little over 2 years worth of building time between the two ships here. If I had a normal job, I could just sit at home and work on these all day long, they would have been done significantly faster than that, but I had to fit it in with work and everything, which is what most of you have to do. I like airplanes. There's lots of airplanes on these two ships. They were a lot of fun. The catapults on the Arizona, for some reason I remember being significantly more complicated to assemble than the catapults on the Missouri, even though the Missouri's catapults appear more complex. Somehow you utilize more of the kit parts, and I guess when you throw on the Pontos details over the top of it, it just ends up looking really fancy. Versus the Edwards, you end up basically, I think you make the catapults from scratch, and it's a bunch of monkeying around. So here's another view here of the deck. This is the scaledex.com deck, and as you can see, all the individual planks are on there. The fit was really nice. They've sorted out a lot of the details here for the Arizona. This has been out for quite some time. It just looks fantastic. I think I put a clear flat coat over the top of it to seal it all in. The deck that you're looking at here on the Missouri is the Pontos kit, and it's not nearly as fancy at all as scaledeck.com's, but that was okay because I ended up staining it, which you could see in my build videos. I'll show that process, and then roughing it up a little bit to show wear and tear. Again, this is supposed to be circa 1945, right before the surrender took place. So, but I think it turned out really well. Alright, so one last look at both the ships here. This is what you get. I've got display cases for both of them. I got to make a new one there for the Arizona to match now that I know I'm doing better. But yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like and subscribe.